Hi, this is Snoop Dogg, and you're about to see the best sports and entertainment talk show on the internet with your host, Troy Geary. The man who seems to go to every sporting event, and Dave Stevens born without legs, but won 7 Emmys and played college football and minor league baseball. Throw in Will Stein wherever Will Stein is, and you've got a heck of a show. It's the Geary, Stein, and Stevens Show. Faux shizzle.
That's right. Here we are once again at Radio Row, and the hits just keep coming. And we're talking about hits right now because pitchers and catchers do report in baseball in just a couple of short days. And, well, we have one of the guys that played in the major leagues a few years ago. Man, I still feel like you could just walk out there and hit. But Jason Werth joining us, former All-Star, won a World Series with the Phillies. Thanks for taking some time here. But let's not talk about baseball. Let's talk about what you've been doing after baseball.
Yeah, we can talk about baseball, but I like talking about horses better. Yeah, so I retired and wasn't sure what to do or what direction life was going, and ran into some guys down in Florida playing golf that owned some Florida breds, and kind of got into the game with a couple of horses, and didn't realize that what I'd been missing. And started getting into the horse racing a little bit more. And then last year, got in on a horse named Dornick that ran 10th in the Kentucky Derby and won the Belmont, won the Haskell, ran 4th in the Travers, and spent my summer up in Saratoga watching the ponies, and was just life-changing. I mean, I had no idea what a great sport horse racing is and how much fun it is. And I think owning horses on the ownership side, whether it's even a small percentage, is just such a great thing for people to get into. It's fun for the whole family. The wives love it. Your kids love it. You can take your young kids to Disneyland. You can take your older kids to the horse races. It's great. We started Icon Racing partnerships and Icon Racing LFG on all the socials. We dropped a podcast. Second episode dropped yesterday, and we're going for it.
So what is this ownership about? What are you trying to do for others?
All right. So I think, historically, when you look at horse ownership, you just think it's this like elitist group. It's like the billionaire class. But recently there's been these groups like My Racehorse and Commonwealth. They own Mage that won the Derby a couple of years ago. So on the heels of the fun and the excitement that I've had the last year, I started Icon Racing Partnership. So basically it's a way for people to own a fractional ownership of a horse or horses. It's basically a fund that we started. So we're crowdfunding for horse racing, and our first group is called Affirmed, after the Triple Crown winner, and so the people that are in the Affirmed group, they own a portion of the 6 horses that we bought in Keeneland this fall, and then we have some money left over to buy some 2-year-olds this spring. So there'll be 2 this year. They'll run as 2-year-olds. Next year there'll be 3. They'll run as 3-year-olds, and then the partnership dissolves when they turn 4, January 1st of the next year. So
before Troy jumps in, I want to do a follow up. What is the difference between winning a world championship and winning like the Belmont Stakes? I mean, what is that euphoria like? How does it rank?
Well, it's pretty similar, right? So I say that the World Series was 1. The World Series parade was 1A, horse racing, and the Belmont was 2 or 3, depending on how you look at it. So it's amazing, right? So these horses, they leave the gate, and once they're on the track, and when they're your horse, when you own that horse, you're invested in that horse. All of a sudden, it's like you're back on the field. So for retired athletes, it gives you and over time, hopefully, we'll create new fans, new owners, and grow the sport of horse racing. I got one of my brands on here, Marga, make horse racing great again. It's a great sport, and we're trying to get more people in.
I think, let me make sure. Someone says we're not hearing audio. I'm not sure. No audio? Okay, it's there. Sorry. All right. Anyway.
Check.
Let's talk a little bit about baseball. You had a great career with a bunch of teams, but most importantly, the World Series 2008. Just talk about that season, how magical it was.
Yeah.
Sharing with guys like Ryan Howard and Chase Utley and
Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, Brad Lidge, Cole Hamels, Jamie Moyer, Pedro Feliz, Pat Burrell. We get the list goes on and on. It was a great team, a great group of guys. Magical season. We were seven back with 17 to play. We ran down the there was seven back with 17 to play in 07. In 08, we were 7 back with 20 to play. Same idea. We had to run down the Mets in epic fashion. The Mets collapsing 2 years in a row. Us not being able to lose a game down the stretch. It was a great time in Philadelphia. It revitalized the city. It brought the fan base back to life. We had endless sellouts after that. I think they broke a record for consecutive sellouts from the end of 07 or maybe 08 through like 2013 or something like that. So it really it set the stage for an awesome time in Philadelphia. And when you see what's going on in Philly the other day after the Eagles clinched, the streets of Philadelphia are just packed with fanatical Philly fans. It makes you kind of reminisce and remember what a great experience that was for us in Philadelphia in those years, 2007, 8, 9, and for me, 2010. I think that run went on to 2011 for those guys, but I had since moved on to Washington.
Jason, I got to ask you, the hair, the flow, it seems like you started that trend that most of the Phillies have still continued to adopt. I mean, the long hair, the flow, it's pretty cool. You don't see a lot of teams that have that. I mean, where did that start for you?
Yeah, I got a haircut one day before spring training, and the guy was telling me how getting your haircut's good luck, good karma. And the next day I got hit by AJ Burnett fastball, first game of spring training of 05. I barely played in 05. I didn't play in 06. I didn't play really again until August of 07 when I finally got a chance to play with the Phillies. So after that haircut and that guy telling me it was good luck, I just pretty much said I'm not doing that anymore. So became pretty superstitious about the hair, and now with horses it's back. So I have a hard time getting my hair cut because every time I do, something bad happens. So just let it flow, let it go.
Who are some of the current pitchers that you face that you wouldn't have wanted to face?
The guys now?
Yeah,
most of them. Everyone throws way too hard. My last year it was going in that direction, and as a kind of a joke, just to kind of mock the whole thing, I put one of those face guards on my helmet. I never got hit in the face, but it was kind of more like everyone's throwing way too hard and no one has any idea where it's going. The guys are losing balls up and in, and with the rules for retaliation, no one cares if they hit anybody anymore. So it's like, you can't do anything, you can't get anybody back. So guys lose balls up and in all the time, and they don't care. There's no repercussions for it. So I'm glad I got out when I did. I was a dinosaur at the time anyways. My day had come and gone. I was happy to retire. I pulled my hamstring and I was playing with Tacoma in AAA with the Mariners, and I never had a hamstring pull, a significant one. And I was playing with a bunch of AAA guys, a bunch of minor leaguers, kids that were like 22, 3, 4 years old. I was like 39, and I pulled my hamstring. And I said, I quit. That's enough.
We have a very special treat because I have a fan back home in Connecticut. It's my son, Brady. Brady was able to be at the World Series. So if you could throw those on, I know you can't see him right now, but he's at his job at Buffalo Wild Wings right now. That's my son, Brady Stevens. We'll yank that up for you so you got a little more room.
Hey, Brady.
If you can hear him. Hi, Brady.
What's going on? How you guys doing?
What's up, Brady? How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
step off and
good.
let
You guys hear
communicate
me?
for a minute.
You guys can hear me good? I can't hear anyone right now.
One more time. Brady, can you hear us?
Okay.
Hello, Brady.
Well, no,
All
I
right.
can't. Your
You
audio,
can't
you
hear
muted
us.
the audio. I can
All
hear
right.
you.
Just wave and say hi to Jason. It was a
Yeah.
nice moment. I'm all warm and fuzzy. All right, go back to
I'll
work.
be back.
That's tough. All right. I think
What,
the
can you
question
hear
Brady
me?
would like to have asked is, did you watch the collapse of the team last year, and did you feel that you might have been able to do something that could have contributed to that team? Do you ever get those urges?
Yeah, no, I mean, not anymore. But it was tough to watch. Um, you know, hitting's contagious, and sometimes so is not hitting, and it's one of those things where you try to start in spring training and you try to get a good path with your swing and hold on to it as long as you can, because it's hitting is tough, and sometimes when you lose it, it's tough to get it back. So yeah, I think over the winter though, these guys will get everything back and get ready to go for next year. I think these guys are set to they're primed to win. Bryce is in his prime. That group of guys, it reminds me of our Philly teams. And I think that I think they'll be okay. Obviously, disappointing last year, but you're not going to win. You're not going to win every year, but I think they got the team that can win this year for sure.
Well, we'd be remiss to let you go without asking about the game Sunday. I know you have the Philly ties, but you got a score prediction for us.
No, I don't. I don't do over unders and I don't do scores, but I do have my pick for the Super Bowl. It's Eagles first half. Eagles first half. I think they're the better team. I think they're gonna win the game, but you just never know with the Chiefs. It seems like they always find a way to pull it out. So I like Eagles first half.
Do you still watch the game much? Do you pay attention? Is there some young kid that you like that reminds you of
Baseball?
of you? Yeah.
I don't watch a whole lot of baseball. I watch a lot of football and I watch a lot of horse racing. But I start paying attention in September. When the games become meaningful, and I watch the playoffs still. But I don't know. I was never the best first half player. I was only an All-Star 1 year. I finished in top 20 for MVP votes, like I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 times or something like that. But I was only an All-Star 1 year, and for whatever reason, the first half was just not my thing. And I still feel that way.
Warmer, you were playing good, right?
Yeah, I got as the weather warmed up, so did my bat. I've always played good in the second half, and I look forward to the second half. And nowadays, I kind of start paying attention after the All-Star break, but really start paying attention in September, and then those meaningful games. October baseball is still, in my opinion, it's the best thing going.
And I know you were close with Bryce. Do you guys still talk much?
Yeah, we keep in touch. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind thing. But when I do see him, we catch right back up, and always pull for him. I feel like I raised that kid in some respects. We got him when he was 19, and now he's all grown up, got a family. He's turned out to be as tough as a 19, 20-year-old as he was. He's turned out to be a really awesome, grown adult, awesome guy, and he's been a great father, and he's become a really awesome teammate there in Philadelphia. And
all right, Mr. Bob Baffert, what's your future in horse racing?
Well, we'd like to grow the sport and bring new owners in and keep the sport around for a while. There's some stuff going on in Florida right now that I don't like. They're trying to end horse racing in Florida as well as California. And I think it's a huge mistake. So I think if we get new owners in and we get more people to raise the awareness of what a great sport it is and get rid of the old stigmas of the sport, the stigmas of the past that don't exist anymore, I think that we can save the sport for. Inevitably the direction it's going. But I think it's an amazing sport. I got my Make Horse Racing Great Again hat on here. I think it's if we get more people in on the ownership side, I think we can have the sport hang in there for a while. The MyRacehorse.com does a great job with their syndicate. People can check their site out. Ours is Icon Racing. and Icon Racing LFG on all the socials. Our podcast is Off the Rails podcast on YouTube and Spotify, presented by Icon Racing. So check us out, give us a follow, and if you're interested in buying horses, get in.
Sounds good. Final question: when they're 2 and 3 year olds, what happens to all of them after age 4 and 5?
So that's that's kind of where the stigma comes in. It's like, what happens to these horses? The aftercare programs and for thoroughbreds is amazing. A lot of these horses continue to race until they're, sometimes up to like 8, 9, and 10 years old. So the sport continues after the 3-year-old season. After their racing career is done, there's tons of opportunities for the horses. A lot of them become, equestrian horses. They become working horses. They go to families. People, love horses. So there's a lot of things. They don't end up at glue factories and kill pens like people think. That sport has done a great job for that. The people in the industry have changed all that. I think that's something that's happened a long time ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, way before I got into it. When I got into it, that was the question I asked. Like, what happens to them when they're done racing? What happens to the horses that aren't any good? And I think that the sport has done a great job of putting these animals in a place where they're taken care of and not neglected or worse. So you can feel good about that. And there's bad parts about everything. You can talk about the bad parts about the minor leagues. They're if you focus just on that you would be missing the point, missing the sport. It's a beautiful sport, a lot of great people, and it's a great industry to get involved in.
All right. Well, we can't wait to continue to watch your success as an owner. And you're like a different Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders because you've gone from baseball to professional horse racing. I don't think there's a lot of people who have done that. So
not many. Me and Alex Bregman so far.
All right. Jason Werth spending some time on Radio Row, Pitchers and Catchers Report, and that guy's a legend. So thank you for joining us, and best of luck. And we hope to see you on the Triple Crown this year.
Let's do it. I got Flying Mohawk March 22nd at Turfway, the Jeff Ruby Stakes. He runs 1 or 2. He'll be in the Derby, so keep an eye.
Sweet.
All right. Place those bets, ladies and gentlemen. We have an inside track here to one of these great horses. So you're watching Geary, Stein, and Stevens as we wrap up coverage. We'll go and see if we can find a hockey player or a basketball player or something like that to cap off our coverage. Don't go away. We got more coming down the pike on Geary, Stein, and Stevens live from Radio Row. Check us out.